Hello, good morning and welcome to my railway this morning. It's Tuesday I think it's the 9th or 10th of January 2018. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm doing this video, one of the things I've done, Mark Filcher put a comment on probably about 6 months ago wanting a bit closer look round this track and this layout and looking at some of the scenery and things on it. So I'll just briefly show it to you. There's an upper deck which I've just got this Bachmann 08 just going round, and that's on Super 4 track, and it uses the an old, well, I found this actually as new, but I had one of these as a child. Trion controllers. I've kept it all together as that because I thought that to control old trains is probably best using an old controller, and it does work beautifully. It actually has two outer tracks on the lower deck, and they're DCC. Although I have now gone and wired up switches to switch them over to DCC or DC, so I can run what I want, to be quite honest. The inner tracks, there's two with passing loops and with a passing loop, and they have just got they're just ordinary DC. Originally I had those so that I could just test run DC things. This was all a test track originally, and it's sort of overgrown itself. So that's where we've got to. So I try and have many things so I can run as much as I want. Below it on here, there's sort of a fishing scene, which I went to Gauge Master and happened to come across this pond. So I've done the figures and things on that, which is interesting, I suppose. In the centre, there are various Hornby buildings and things, although I have tried to, I've put little bases on them and sort of surrounding things really so that I can use them on other layouts, or I can just move them around easily. I find it works better that way. Otherwise, if they're permanently set, you can't. You have to rip them up and everything else like that. I tend to now build my layouts. I have got what I'd call a proper sort of scenic model railway, which is actually at the back there. But that's I tend to run sort of my run as you go layouts, my fun layouts. I tend to just get a boards and then put some grass mat down on it and carry on from there, because I find that otherwise, if you have a fairly big layout like this isn't massive, but if it's a reasonable size, I never quite get round to finishing everything, and it always just looks half done all the time, whereas if at least this looks basically done, and if I do get it does. I hate ballasting, so if I ever get round to ballasting, I can just do it on the grass mat and it looks fine. On this, some of the buildings are Metcalfe. When I've been into rails in Sheffield, they sometimes break up layouts, and I cheat because I just buy them ready done off other people, and sometimes they're better made than I can. The church, which is over the back here, I did build myself. I had it for last Christmas and sat there and built it. I enjoyed building it. I like doing them. It's just a case of having the time and the effort, and it's got a wedding scene on it and things, the typical type thing. What else we got? Well, above it I built it's actually end gauge, although I've got a narrow gauge train going around it. I built it just basically to, as you can probably see, try and run the Falcar system out. So it's actually, I can run the Falcar around it. That again was a piece of wood, and I started messing with it, and then I got some buildings and bits and pieces, so I just put that together. So that sort of sits on top of there for nowhere to go really else for it, and I just put a little, I have some 009 and some German and English, and I wanted a test track for it, so I can run that round with it, or I can put some end gauge around it, so it's quite useful. This worked out. Originally I had the actual train was down here, so down here is the lowest level, which isn't linked to the upper, and this is the English side of it. I have quite a collection of Marklin and Tricks, as well as English Hornby, well, the usual type stuff. So I want to be able to run both. So on this side it's English, although it's got a German BR05 in with a set of pre-war coaches. But as you come round, there's a big boy in the great big long engine goods shed, which you might be able to just see hiding in there. Don't know whether it's possible. Can we get it? There we go. There is then storage tracks, which are 3 rail, which run up the middle. The outer track is 2 rail, and it's 2 rail Kato track, which, to be honest, it's been down probably over 10, Christ, it may be 2002, so it's got 15 years now. And I've never had to clean it. I don't know what the metal is, but I've never ever had to clean it, and it doesn't seem to get particularly dirty. And it certainly never stops the trains. The inner is 3 rail and is Marklin track, and as you can see there's the blue BR03, the set of the blue coaches behind it. And this is the German side of it, which the 2 rail goes round both things, the 3 rail only goes round the German side, because obviously they aren't really, unless you're going to Hornby and it's not compatible with this, there's not really any 3 rail type trains. So the 2 rail. The interesting thing that I found was that I can manage to control both 2 rail and 3 rail DCC and Motor MFX just off the ECOS, or indeed I do have a Marklin controller, so it controls all the lot, and all the locos can go on and everything else like that, so I can just run anything I want. I have been, what have I been doing? Well, for a while, well, for Christmas I got the I've got the wrong controller. Have I got the right? Yeah, here we go. For one of my things that I got was the lovely Bachmann 1F, which is quite stunning. This one's a weathered one, but it's beautiful. It's all beautifully done inside. It's a stunning loco. I must admit, it's very realistic. And following that, what I have been doing is I've had these old Trying R20, I think they're R28 and R29 coaches, which I've re-wheeled as per John's Amazing Trains, and I must admit it works very well. Takes quite a long time to put all the little bearings in and keep gluing and leaving, but it has done very, very well. They run much, much better, although one of them, which I'm not quite sure, it was one of the ordinary coaches, one of them, one of the axles had rusted so much, when I went to push the axle out, unfortunately it broke the axle box, and with these being so old, the plastic's weak and it just snapped. And I'd sort of almost given up what to do, because I tried gluing it on and it didn't work. So I didn't know what to do. In the end I thought, oh, I'll take it to bits and I'll just put it as a scenic coach, you know, just on its bottom really. Anyway, when taking it to bits, I started to drill out the rivet that holds the bogie on. And as I was doing that, I looked at the size of it, and I remembered that when I was doing these GWR coaches, which are railroad ones, I wanted. Well, let's get back. I'm losing the thread. When I went back to the, I was trying. I wanted to put fit caddies on them, and obviously the railroad coaches just have the pre-formed things. So I got some bogies from Hornby Mark One, the recent detail coaches, and they have the sockets for the NEM sockets. I fitted them to that. Well, when I thought about it, the holes on these looked a similar sort of size, so I grabbed one of those, and believe it or not, you know, I mean, these are early 60s. The others are the latest thing. I pushed it, the actual bogie clip fit socket just clipped straight in. So I've got a couple of Mark one of those bogies, put the new wheels in, and they just clipped in. And to be honest, it's a very easy way, and they don't look out of place. I mean, I think it's this one that's got them, as against the bogie that's on the other one, and that's worked out. So it saved it, and they're absolutely fine, and it runs absolutely fine. And I've got the latest wheels on it, so I was quite pleased about that. I managed to save it. I'll give it a quick run round so you can see the 1F going. On the inner track, as I said before, there's the it's actually, I think it's a Heljan, the little pannier with the outside cylinders on it, and that's got the railroad GWR coaches, which are very nice, and on them they're fitted with Cadee coaches, Cadee couplings, and kind of mix my way. And then on the absolute inner track, there's a Bachmann lightweight and a 108 behind it, coupled up. I don't know whether they should run like that, but they both got speed whiskers and things, so I coupled them up. Anyway, so that's basically that. That's what I've been doing, and I've not been very well really the tail end of the year, so I haven't got round to doing piles of doing it, but this is just a basic update. I will just plonk you down and leave while I just get the controller. I'll just set off my Sound Black Flying Scotsman, which is lovely, and it's got the firebox flicker and everything else. Olivia's Trains did it for me. I have got which you've probably spied, the green version, which is here. I know this isn't very realistic, having two Flying Scotsmen on at one time, but you know, that's the fun of having your own railway, isn't it? So really, in conclusion, that's where I've been up to. That's as far as I've got. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope that's given you an idea of what this particular layout's all about. I will at some point do show you my proper scenic layout. I'll probably do that on another video. Thank you. Bye.